welcome to another Rivals of Ixalan Draft League. This is Old Man Poole. We've opened up a pretty sweet rare here. Captain's Hook is obviously pretty good, and the fact that it's colorless is really nice as an opening card in a draft, and it fits pretty well in just about any deck. It's obviously a little bit better if you're aggressive. +2/+0 and Menace is definitely favors you when you're on the offense. But on the other hand, it can be a reasonable finisher card as well if you end up in a board stall or a little bit slower deck. Obviously, it's great sticking up lots of Legions, Conquistadors with Captain's Hook and the like. I don't think there's anything else in this pack that really compares. Squire's Devotion is pretty good. Charging Tuscanon has been impressive to me. And everything else, there's a bunch of okay cards in this pack, but nothing of that caliber. So let's take the hook. Ooh. Well, we have some options here. We have Merfolk Mistbinder, which I have enjoyed the Merfolk decks in the format, but it's a kind of a gamble, because you really do want to be the one Merfolk drafter at the table. If you're the only one, things go quite well for you, but if you're trying to split it with one other player, I really don't think there's enough playables that come around. Baffling End is also definitely a consideration. This is a pretty good removal spell. Not mind-blowingly good, but very, very solid. We've also got Prilled Deathspitter, some other stuff. I think I'm going to take the Mistbinder. I think this is the highest upside. Captain's Hook's quite good with cards like Mistcloaked Herald and Evasive Threats, which the Merfolk decks definitely can put together. And I'm a sucker for Merfolk. I've been enjoying them a lot. Okay, not tons for us here. We could take another powerful gold uncommon, Stormfleet Sprinter. It's not, obviously we can't play Merfolk Mistbinder and the Stormfleet Sprinter in the same deck, but this is a good card to carry Captain's Hook, and I think that the blue-red decks tend to be quite aggressive, in which case Captain's Hook might really shine there. We don't have tons outside of that. Arterial Flow's fine, although it's in another color as well. Relska Frillback's kind of unexciting. Moan Triumph's okay. Yeah, I don't think any of this is really stellar, so I think I'm going to take the Sprinter, being fully aware that we're only going to play one of these two cards, but they're both very, very powerful in their respective decks. So, we've got Form of the Dinosaur, which is a pretty sweet card. Good if you're very aggressive, and not great outside of it. I don't think the card is fantastic. I played it in one of the first drafts in the format, and it was fun, but I do think it's not an early pick, and probably not the best thing out of this. We have Direfleet Neckbreaker if we want to take yet another gold uncommon. Those are all very good signposts. We could just take that and kind of say hey, we're going to find ourselves in one of these three archetypes, and we're going to have a really good card for one of those three. Frilled Deathspitter, I guess, is a not terrible other option. We're not seeing a ton of other Merfolk. Jade Bearers don't really count. At least I don't think so. I think we're just going to take the Neckbreaker here. Again, fully aware that these are all going to be good in different decks, but I think I'm okay kind of planting a couple of different flags and seeing what comes around to us, and we can kind of make up our decision then. We haven't had any packs with just awesome cards like Bombard that really fit in a lot of different decks. I don't think we picked multicolor cards over cards that were dramatically more powerful, I think these were dramatically more powerful than our options. We have a card like Impale here, though, which I think we will pick up. It only overlaps with Direfleet Neckbreaker of the cards we've gotten, but Impale's quite good. Deadeye Righthauler probably was the next best pick out of this pack. Not really seeing any Merfolk for the Mistbinder, so we hate drafted this from somebody, and I'm sure they'll be unhappy, but I don't think we're going to be able to go down that route. So let's take the Impale here. Okay, yeah. These are some good sort of late red threats. I'm actually not sure if I want Trailblazer or Sea Red more. I think we are going to cut the Sprinter, at least for now, though. I really do like Sea Red, although there is a fair amount of good removal in the set, and Trailblazer is great with Captain's Hook and great with Neckbreaker. I guess this already gives Menace, so maybe that mitigates a little bit of the advantage, but it's great with Neckbreaker, and this is, I just think, one of the premier 2-drops in this black-red deck. I'm not really wild about this deck, if I'm being honest, but I do think it's okay. Stone Quarry, I like picking these up kind of when you get the chance, when there's not anything real exciting in a pack, because they do lead to some good splashes on occasion. We got a Mutiny here, which I think I'm going to take over a Dinosaur Hunter. I do like having 1 or 2 Mutinies in just about every deck. I think the card performs well. It's pretty nice when you're playing things like Goblin Trailblazer, because Even if they've got a couple of reasonable threats, if they only have one blocker, you can still get in for some damage. Out of this pack, I don't think Silverclad Frostodons is really what this deck can hope to be doing. I guess I'll take Sun-Colored Raptor. I'm definitely not impressed with this card. I think we'd rather not play it if we can avoid it. Could also take Dark Inquiry. It's not a bad sideboard card against some decks. I mean, sometimes you just need it to grab your opponent's Profane Procession or whatever else. Also have Traveler's Amulet. I think I'll take the Raptor though. Okay, not tons for us here either. I guess Brazen Freebooter probably looks more exciting than Vampire Revenant, given that we do have a Direfleet Neckbreaker. Alright, let's pick this up. Not a super exciting card, but not a bad one either. I think we take Dark Inquiry over Dusk Charger in this deck. I think we're going to try and be aggressive, in which case Dusk Charger's pretty unexciting. This is a good, like, reasonable finisher if you're hoping to go for a longer game, but I think if the game goes long enough the Dusk Charger's good, we've probably already lost. Okay, Sun-Colored Raptor. Again, not crazy exciting, not bad either. I guess I'll take Tianali's Crown here. This definitely can steal games from your opponents. Same thing, Horncrest could be fine. I guess we do have a couple of Raptors, which make it better. I think I'll take a Crown, though. You never know when you play this, and like a Buccaneer's Bravado, and you can just get your opponent. And I guess a Shatter. Don't think this is something we're likely to be able to play, but you never know. Alright, after pack 1, how am I feeling? Okay, we threw a lot of different, like, hats in the ring, I guess. We saw a lot of different cards, but I'm not, like, not in love with a lot of the cards we've gotten. Sun-Colored Raptor is not super exciting. There's Brazen Freebooter. We did open up a Needletooth Raptor, though. This is a pretty great card in just about any deck that can play it. We don't have a whole lot of opportunities or a lot of cards that, like, ping our board, but you never know what you might pick up. And even if this is just trading with an opponent's creature, a lot of times you can get at least a 2-for-1 out of it. We've also got Dusk Legion Zealot, which is fine. Fathomfleet Border, which is fine. Legion's Lieutenant's great. I guess we could finish off yet another color pair of Lords, but I think that ship has sailed. Journey to Eternity is okay. Not... I mean, it's very, very powerful if you can flip it, but it's in a color combination that's not real exciting, and it does take some work to flip it as well. So I think that there's no real reason to try and splash something like that. I guess we're probably just taking another Impale here. Targeting Tuscadon is good. I don't think it's as good as Impale is, especially given how little removal we have at this point. I guess we take like a Fathomfleet Border at this point. Not really in love with how the draft's going. Not seeing any great late payoffs. You never know. We might still see like another Direfleet Neckbreaker, but not looking great. We could take another Border. We could take Sea Red, or this is the third Tuscadon that's come around. Or Archivorozka. It's definitely a card that can hold its own as well. I think that I've actually been lower on this card than I would have expected, I guess. Most of the time when you are playing at least a more aggressive deck, you just can't end up playing this at the top of the curve. You just, either the game's over, or paying 5 mana and tapping to draw a card ends up being too expensive anyway, and it can't drag you back. So I like the Arch in theory, but it's just maybe a little bit too expensive. Kind of low on creatures. I am kind of tempted to take Sea Red just because it is such a powerful effect. It's pretty good on Sun-Colored Raptor. I think that's the pickup here. I could see taking the Tuscadon or the Border. We're a little bit high on the curve, so maybe Tuscadon's not great. Although, on the other hand, we're probably not hoping to play like Brazen Freebooter either. Well, Grasping Scoundrel, yeah, I don't know. Not really digging a lot of the cards we're seeing here. This is okay if you're very, very aggressive. And I don't know, the deck's looking less and less aggressive all the time. Mausoleum Harpy, it's a fine card. It's really much better if you get to Ascend, but even a 3/3 flying for 5 is alright. I think it's better for this deck than something like Recover is. We've already got one Dark Inquiry in the sideboard, so I guess I'll take it. Yeah, not much. I really don't think we're going to be happy playing Dusk Charger. I guess I'll take Stone Quarry. Again, you never know what you might end up being able to splash out of the last pack, but yeah, this deck's looking pretty mediocre right now, if I'm being honest. Captain Soak is good, and that could help us mise some victories. We can definitely steal games with Sea Red, but creatures we've got are pretty lackluster. Wow, that's actually a super big boon. Picking up a Direfleet Neckbreaker, literally the last card that last time we could have gotten it. Pretty big. Don't have a ton of pirates right now. Really will be hoping to find some more. There's a Forerunner of the Empire, which I think is a consideration in there just because we have Needletooth Raptor and how well they synergize together. But we'd only get one trigger off of it. It might still be good, but I think that if this deck ends up coming together, it's going to be on the back of Neckbreakers. So I should have given that a little bit more consideration when I was talking about cards there, but I still think that the Neckbreaker is the right pick. Forerunner of the Empire with Needletooth Raptor, though, is the real deal for sure. Yeah, I mean, we only picked up one Goblin Trailblazer. Curve's just a little bit high to be real excited here. Getting another Neckbreaker was big, though. I think that improved the deck pretty dramatically going into our third pack. A whole lot of green here. Guess we'll take Zokin Seer. It's the best card. I mean, we could maybe even just say we should take something bad here and try and say like, hey, this is open. Maybe it would pull someone away from red, but probably not this late in the pack. I don't think there's any way we ever play another Strider Harness, but I guess actually giving a good signal is maybe better than taking a good card. There. Someone's gonna get hit in the face with a, you should be playing green. And on the off chance someone's still like teetering between like black-green or something, maybe that gives us a little bit more value. Probably not, but you never know. I guess Stampeding Horncrest is fine. We actually ended up with a couple of dinos, and if this does have haste, it's a legit card. Probably better than Mausoleum Harpy if it has haste consistently, although it may be close still. Guess we'll take, I don't know, Sea Legs. We'll keep showing those green signals. What are we hoping for out of this last pack? I guess like 4 Fathom Fleet Firebrands is probably the most exciting. Just some good creatures in general. I mean, Direfleet Captain would be good, and particularly cheap good pirates, because we really want these Neckbreakers to do some work for us, and right now, we've only got 5 pirates in the whole list, so... This will take Gleaming Barrier. I think if we're sideboarding Gleaming Barriers, the world has already ended, but it is something that we theoretically could play. Alright, last pack. Ooh, so we have some cards we'd like here. Revel in Riches, unfortunately, is not one of them. One of these days. It's maybe getting too late in the format for me to keep saying that. I really would like to make Revel in Riches deck work, but I think we're a long ways away. Do you have a Ruthless Knave, which is a good 3-drop? I think I'm just going to take Fathom Fleet Firebrand here. This is very solid too. I do like Contract Killing a lot, but we have 2 Impales, a Needletooth Raptor, and a Mutiny already. And we are lacking in like quality 2-drops, which I think are very important for this deck. So I'm going to take the Firebrand. Contract Killing is good. I would play definitely Ruthless Knave if it were to come around, but... Ooh, okay. There's some cards here. I think we're just going to take Repeating Barrage. It's maybe close with Fiery Cannonade, though. This card just wrecks so much of the format. There's some good cards, though. Repeating Barrage is super solid. Can give you a little bit of extra reach in the late game. Can also just remove threats repeatedly on occasion. I think it's best, honestly, in a little bit more controlling deck than this, but it's still 3 mana for deal 3 a creature or player, which is good. And there's just upside on top of that. I could see Fiery Cannonade actually being correct there, since this is just such a blowout against some decks. But I am going to take the Repeating Barrage, I think. Oh wow, and another one? How many of these is too many? Probably no amount, right? It's probably ever so slightly worse than multiples, because the raid. It's kind of funny, there's a Shining Aerosaur, like the exact same visage there. Never noticed that before. I think we're going to take it though. I mean, I would play Raptor Hatchling, I would play Ruthless Knave, and I would love Sure Strike in this deck, but Barrage has just got to be the best of them, I still think. Fire Cannon Blast. We also have Pirate's Cutlass. No creatures, though, I guess. Rummaging Goblin. Oh, this isn't even a pirate. The Blast isn't terrible. We could just have a ton of removal to go along with all of our creatures in the deck. Maybe that's just fine. Cutlass is good, but it's better when you have more creatures, and right now I think we're a little bit light of where we want to be. We also have a Captain's Hook, which isn't all that dissimilar. It is obviously nice if you drop like a Goblin Trailblazer next turn Pirate's Cutlass. Wonder if we don't need Fire Cannon Blast. We've got Repeating Barrages, Impales. Would we ever cut this card though? I don't think so. And I think that there's a world where we don't want Pirate's Cutlass. So I think actually I'm going to take the Blast. That's another interesting pick though. I'm not 100% sure that's correct. One kind of disadvantage of our current, the way the deck's looking right now, well, the way it's looking right now is we've got a lot of double colored symbols. And ideally we'd want to run a lower land count with this deck. But having double reds and double blacks makes that a lot harder. Really don't like Nest Robber much. Not big on Wily Goblin either. I wonder if we just end up being in a spot with more competition for this deck than I expected. I guess maybe we'd play Wily Goblin. It's a 1/1, but it can help with our double costed cards. It's really kind of filler. We'd rather not play it, but if we need it, we need it. It does get buffed from the Neckbreakers. Don't like the Rummaging Goblin. Ooh, we got a Fiery Cannonade back. Also, Mark of the Vampire. Also fell Flagship, although for the same reason that picking up Pirate's Cutlass isn't great. This is really most exciting when you have a lot of creatures, and we're kind of light on creatures. I guess we will take the Cannonade, though. I guess this is just like less black-red beatdown and more like black-red kill literally everything that's played. Which, that's probably not a terrible plan. I've also got Mark of the Vampire, which is good, but we've already got like Sea Red and Captain's Hook, so yeah, let's take the Cannonade here. Alright, not much out of this pack. Yeah, I do think that we must have just, black was overdrafted and we just got a little bit lucky with the Impales. And maybe there's, just because black wasn't heavily drafted doesn't mean the Neckbreakers can't come around. Guess we'll take Suncrowned Hunters here. Not terrible top end. I think the way this deck is looking, we're more likely to play at least 16 lands and maybe even 17 lands, in which case the Suncrowned Hunters gets better. Well, there's a Raider's Wake. I think I'm just going to pick that up here. This has been impressive to me. I've sideboarded it in, I guess, only once, maybe twice, in Rivals of Ixalan, but both times it was just devastating for my opponent. I'm not sure it's a main deck card, especially given how few creatures we have, but I like me a Raider's Wake. There's some decks that you play this, they've just got like a whole bunch of 5 and 6 drops in their hand, and they just have to start either pitching those or pitching lands to be able to play those. Sometimes you just play Raider's Wake and it just like locks your opponent out of the game in a way that really very few cards do anymore. It's a Hijack. I'm hopefully just going to kill their bombs though. Hijack loses some quality when you do that. Guess I'll take Suncrowned Hunters. This will just be another top end threat. Yeah, and we're just going to play a little bit more of a controlling game, I think. And we're probably going to cut Wily Goblin if, well, I guess actually Grasping Scoundrels is just worse. But Wily Goblin maybe. Another Suncrowned Hunters. Don't think we ever want a third. I don't hate Hijack, it's just kind of low impact too. And actually this deck might want a Heartstopper more. How are we winning? We are winning by removing all our opponent's threats and getting in for some damage kind of consistently. And I'm going to take Heartstopper. We're just looking more controlling than I think your average black-red deck looks in this format. Well, I would be really excited with Sure Strike most of the time. I don't know, we just don't have that many creatures. Sure Strike loses a lot of its utility if we're not beating down really hard. I think we're just going to take a Ruthless Knave here. I wouldn't mind having a Rummaging Goblin, but Ruthless Knave's a pretty nice pickup, actually. Works well with the Neckbreakers. And then we got another Goblin anyway. Do we play this guy? We might. Oops. Well, I guess we'll take the Runaground. That's a good time to fat finger your cards, since it doesn't matter that much that late in the pack. And last pick, Duress, I suppose. Last pick, Demolish. I apologize. Duress is nice. I mean, it's not quite as good as Dark Inquiry, because when you want that effect, you want to be able to hit everything. But there are some decks that you're happy seeing Duress. How's this deck gonna look? Yeah, definitely kind of messy. Not sure we want Stampeding Horncrest. Let's see, what could we possibly play? Wily Goblin is grudgingly playable. So is Brazen Freebooter, grudgingly. Raider's Wake against some matchups, maybe. Pitiless Plunderer, I don't like much. I really don't think Brazen Freebooter is very exciting. Heartstopper's maybe not great either. It is good against some opponents. I think we're going to play both Suncrowned Hunters. It's good with Fiery Cannonade, potentially gives us a little bit of reach in the late game, and with a lot of removal, actually having some big threats to end up with is kind of nice. I think let's cut the Freebooter, maybe cut the Heartstopper here. Don't think we're going to play Raider's Wake right off, although, again, that might be not a terrible sideboard card. I guess Tianali's Crown's not real exciting if we're not beating down either. It's good with Needletooth Raptors. It's mostly it, though. So let's cut Crown. I think I want everything else down here. Sea Red is just high enough upside that I think we want it. It's very good with the instant speed removal that we have, too, which I guess is only Fire Cannon Barrage? Or Fiery Cannonade. Everything else is sorcery speed. Yeah, I guess that makes it worse. This is still high impact, though. Wonder if it's just not our best if we're trying to be a little bit slower, though. Yeah, maybe. We're kind of controlling. I could see us getting in a position where we can't swing with Sea Red, then it feels really bad. Captain's Hook's going to do a similar effect and maybe just be a little bit better at it. So I guess that means we're bringing a couple of cards back in. Let's play Brazen Freebooter. Wily Goblin? Yeah, I guess it's between Wily Goblin or Heartstopper. I think I like Heartstopper a little bit better, even with the kind of tough mana cost that we're going to have to deal with in this deck. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is definitely not what I expected when I thought we were going to go down the neckbreaker path. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great, though, either. I think we're going to be definitely reliant on our pretty sweet suite of removal. And in lands, I think we're definitely veering on the side of red. Don't think we can quite get down to 11-6. That feels greedy. And we really do want to be able to play Impales. I think we're just still going to go 9-8. I have to call that good. I guess the Sun-Colored Raptors kind of encourages more red sources. It's really unfortunate if we can't play Impale, though. But maybe 10-7 is still okay. We have a lot of good red removal. Maybe we don't have to play Impale right off the bat a lot of the times. I guess let's go 10-7 here. Okay, yeah, I don't know. The deck is kind of weird. Hopefully pretty good. Like I said, we got a lot of pretty sweet removal spells. We've got a Pirates or Captain's Hook. Who knows what we can put together. I'll see you guys for match 1. Hello and welcome to match 1. This is Old Man Poole. My opponent has mulliganed down to 6. Do we want to mulligan down to 6? I don't think so. This hand's pretty uninspiring, but we do have a 2-drop. We have a good mix of creatures and lands. I think we'll keep. I also think it's very possible this deck provides a lot of hands that look like this. I'm not sure this is much worse than average. Having double mountain and double swamp is also a consideration. So my opponent went down to 5 and then put a card on bottom, so it looks like they're in some trouble. We're maybe not going to be able to pressure them incredibly aggressively, but we will have Sun-Colored Raptor into, I guess 4 points of damage, assuming we don't find anything that costs 3. And then later than that, even a Neckbreaker and a Freebooter. Okay, Ixalan's Diviner actually does a pretty good job of stalling. Hits Hardy Veteran. Does my opponent want a Hardy Veteran? This could be very telling about his hand. No. That either means he's looking for lands, or he has a lot of lands and he's looking for something more impactful. I'm just thinking that the Hardy Veteran's not going to be able to do it on its own. Let's play our Sun-Colored Raptor here. We are going to swing next turn, I think, pretty much regardless. If my opponent wants to block, we'll eat a free card, otherwise we'll play Ruthless Knave. This is actually about as good a position for the Sun-Colored Raptor to be in as it can be. Ooh. When it swings, why would they swing there? They swing there because they've got a combat trick and nothing else. Maybe they've got the Aggressive Urge +1/+1 draw a card. I think we're just going to take it. It's alright. 1 point of damage isn't all that much. It does have a follow-up. Okay, Ixalan's Keeper means that, yeah, we're not real happy swinging with the Raptor. Because we'd trade and it would be a pretty massive tempo loss. So I think we're just going to play Ruthless Knave here. Have to accept that that's okay. But blocking the Ixalan's Diviner there I still think is not a terrible choice. And because my opponent mulliganed down to 5, we can play a little bit conservatively and just know that we've got a lot more resources than my opponent does. If he swings here with both... No, he doesn't. Okay. I was going to say if he swings both, it might indicate that he's got, like, Sure Strike, in which case it's bad for us to block again. So Dire Fleet Neckbreaker actually doesn't make our Ruthless Knave much better than it already is. Play it out. Swing with the Knave. He'll trade with the Keeper, probably. But then Neckbreaker's a potentially devastating threat. We don't have any removal to follow it up right now. We could always draw some, though. On the other hand, we could also play Brazen Freebooter, and then the following turn play a Neckbreaker, and then swing with maybe a little bit more force. I kind of like that a little bit better, holding on to the Neckbreaker until we need to use it, or I guess until the opportunity presents itself a little bit better. Well, we've actually drawn quite well here. We start out with 4 lands, we've hit nothing but spells since. And we even were able to find some curve fillers like Ruthless Knave and Brazen Freebooter along the way. Or actually, I can't remember, we may have had the Freebooter in our opening hand, so we've drawn some other stuff, but still pretty okay with that. Opponent considering attacking, I'm pretty sure he's got Aggressive Urge. I think that's our most likely candidate here. Alright, well let's play the Neckbreaker and swing. That would get up to 5, which actually still means it wouldn't trade with both of those. We can play a Neckbreaker, wait around, play another Neckbreaker, and then all of a sudden these guys are swinging as 7s, which does kill both the Diviner and the Keeper. Or we can just throw both of these in and say, hey, like you double block, we trade down a little bit, but no, it doesn't feel that good even. Because then we just like trade for the board. My opponent's left with like a Keeper or a Diviner, and we just have a Neckbreaker facing him down. I think we'll play a Neckbreaker, and I'm just gonna pass here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so Mausoleum Harpy's almost on here. So we could actually even play that next turn. I wonder if that would have been better. Play Mausoleum Harpy, although I guess then we're not quite ascended, are we, this turn? And actually, if we have to use up the treasure, we're not quite next turn either. Opponent is definitely playing like they've got something at instant speed. My guess is still Aggressive Urge, although not 100% on that either. Opponent has found more lands than he would like for sure, though. Alright, let's see what my opponent's follow-up is. Okay, Hunt the Weak there is actually quite good. He doesn't get a ton of value other than the counter, but a 2/5 is starting to be a real threat. So we could play like Border and Firebrand, and then next turn the Border actually still can't swing past the Diviner even with the Neckbreaker. It's kind of funny, it feels like we should have a better board than this. But we kind of don't. Guess let's play another Neckbreaker. Maybe we'll follow it up with a Harpy next turn and offer some big trades. We still do need to find a land before we can get the Ascend going with the Harpy though. Opponent's top decking, but considering he went down to 5, I'm kind of concerned about how competitive this game has been. He's supposed to just roll over and die, and that has definitely not happened. Oh, the top deck. Yeah, alright. I will take my poison. If we draw a land, we can still find the Mausoleum Harpy and potentially swing. Yeah, Repeating Barrage is not bad. Just remove one of his threats. We can also swing with the Sun-Collared Raptor, although that actually doesn't swing through the Diviner real well just yet. Yeah, I guess maybe I feel like Repeating Barrage and then Firebrand. I think we're going to kill off the Keeper rather than the Knight, just because he is quite close to being able to get the bonus. I don't know how often that will matter, but I think it's going to be more likely than the Knight bonus in this. Yeah, maybe not. How confident were you going to be on the beatdown? Fairly confident. I also just play Fathom Fleet Border. That's a better attacker next turn, also followed up with the Firebrand. Yeah, maybe we just like adding to the board. And I'll blow up my treasure here to add just a little bit more oomph. I still feel like we're not doing fantastically, but on the other hand, it's hard to think that we're really far behind either. That Ixalan's Diviner's done some serious work, though. Ooh, Captain Hook's nice. You can play the Hook and equip to, I don't know, like the Border. Maybe the Ruthless Knave? Yeah, and that forces a double block, at least. We can't play either of these. We could Repeating Barrage something out of the way. I think I like just playing the Hook and equipping the Knave, though, and then swinging. That will give my opponent a double block and trade up a little bit, but it also starts pulling the defenses down. And we do need to win this game eventually. If Took was a good draw, though, for sure. Yeah, I think we have to bite the bullet and offer some maybe not fantastic trades. Right? I am okay with that. Bounce, trade, get in for 5. I think we are going to kill off the Keeper. I just find it unlikely we're going to have to be on the defense. Alright, and we'll pass. Next turn, if we don't find a land, we're still just going to cast Repeating Barrage, probably. We could just remove the Knight and get in for another 5, assuming he doesn't find anything here. Evolving Wild's not a particularly exciting card. Yeah, it looks like my opponent's just had a really tough time, though. I'm not sure we're going to do real well against him. I guess he did kind of top deck to remove both of our neck breakers. But he had a really tough time, mulled down to 5, and now has drawn 7 lands. That's more than just about any deck's hoping for, especially on a mull to 5. Alright. So we could just play Mausoleum Harpy here as well. That seems fine. This is another pretty big threat. This will give us Ascend, which is nice. And you can't real effectively block the Knave. And we still are sitting on that Repeating Barrage as well. So I don't think we swing with the Fathom Flame Border. Would I be okay trading those? I guess I would, but that's most likely he just blocks. I guess if we swing with this, it precludes the chance of him double blocking as well. And I guess I'm okay trading for the Knight. We get a counter over here. We remove a blocker that interacts with the Captain's Hook. Looks like he is double blocking. That is okay with me. It goes down to 10, assuming he doesn't have a trick. Get a counter. And now next turn he has to have a creature or he's very dead. And he may be dead even through a creature because of Repeating Barrage. This Ixalan's Diviner, though. That card has done stuff. Okay, yeah. Managed to pick up game 1. It's a little bit more tenuous than I would have liked, but opponent's playing red-green, kind of 2-drops and removal that we saw. I didn't see any massive creatures. See red, not real fantastic against fight effects. Not miserable. A lot of the times that means you'll trade with your opponent's card. Green-red in general is a little more defensive, which means that like it's kind of a slightly higher on the curve mid-range deck, so Raider's Wake might be good. What seemed bad for us in this matchup? Not much, honestly. I mean, Sun-Colored Raptor was pretty unexciting, but that's because we didn't draw a lot of lands. This is better when you're flooding than when you're hitting threats. And if you're hitting threats, you often don't need the Sun-Colored Raptor to be all that great anyway. I think we're just gonna keep this. Heartstopper's nice against some of the bigger threats he might have. Obviously, Impales are good for the same reason. I'm not sure we can really leverage Raider's Wake as well as I would like in this deck. Okay, this is a very keepable hand. Got a 2-drop, even if it's a bad 2-drop, and a Mutiny, and then 2 very good 4s. Okay, well, and another mountain, so we can play the 4s for sure, even. So I think the likely outcome is my opponent will play like a 2-drop, we'll play Sun-Colored Raptors, he'll swing in because we can't really block, and then the turn after we'll end up mutinying, maybe? Trading a card for a card. But then the turn after that, we get to play Needletooth Raptor. That'll do a pretty good job of taking the board state back. Sully's Diviner. Well, this was MVP last game. And Keeper. So again, this is always a little bit telling as to what he does. I went to the graveyard. Okay, yeah, looks like he's looking for lands again. Alrighty. Let's play our Raptor right on time, and we'll pass back. Got a lot of removal this time. And Mutiny's not particularly good with Ixalan's Diviner. It's actually pretty bad against really like high asymmetry and power and toughness in general. It's not very often that you'll find a card that Ixalan's Diviner can kill. Alright, after a moment there, my opponent is back with a vengeance. Ooh, well, I was just saying there's not many cards Ixalan's Diviner kills. That is one of them. Oh, with the Mutiny, I mean. So not unhappy for that. Do we swing here and want to represent that 1 damage? I think killing off the Drover of the Mighty is just more important, and if my opponent does block... I guess if my opponent does block, I'm not losing that much either. Let's go ahead and swing with the Suncaller Raptor. If he has like a 1 green pump spell, I guess it's kind of embarrassing. Not even that bad. I'm okay trading my Suncaller Raptor for the mythical 1 cost pump spell. I think we do just need to kill off the Drover though. Okay, my opponent doesn't block. Go ahead and creature your opponent controls to deal the damage and to be dealt the damage. I always have to read Mutiny. I'm definitely going to screw that up one of these days. Okay, well cool. We actually picked off probably one of the best cards we could have with Mutiny there. Next turn, I imagine we're playing Needletooth Raptor. Nope. Raging Regisaur. I think that's just going to get impaled, actually. Do we still want to swing with the Sun-Colored Raptor? Am I just okay trading up? Or do we really want this as a creature? I actually think, given our hand and how many lands we're starting to hit here, I might just want it. The creature. So if he blocks the Regisaur, I guess we still trade. That's maybe not the end of the world. Okay, yeah, let's swing at the Raptor. 1 point of damage at a time. I still think it's unlikely my opponent probably blocks. Certainly not with the Regisaur, maybe with the Diviner. No block, so mising a couple of free points of damage here. And this is definitely getting impaled. I mean, this is a great card on its own, and there are so many just random synergies the deck could have. Like, if he played a Needletooth Raptor next turn, we just lose the game on the spot, probably. He swings with the Regisaur, pings the Raptor, kills something, and then you can just keep going after that. Okay, Overgrown Armasaur, also pretty solid. Wonder if that merits removal at this point. Or we should just keep swinging with the Sun-Colored Raptor. I think Direfleet Neckbreaker makes me a little bit happier to trade the Sun-Colored Raptor away. We could just impale that again. It's not fantastic, although we still have Needletooth Raptor, I guess, to deal with a lot of threats. Not all, but a lot. I think we are going to swing with the Raptor. And then, we follow that up with Impale. Obviously, anytime my opponent wants to block here, I'm pretty okay with that. Let us... we just impale it? Or do we just say, hey, we're going to play Needletooth Raptor and accept that that's probably going to be a trade? He'll get a 1-1 out of the deal. 1-1 does matter. Let's him double block the Raptor, I guess. Alright. We'll just keep up the force of removal here. That might be a little bit aggressive. Impale is one of the few, I guess, our last remaining true kill spell in the deck. And my opponent plays something like a Monstrosaur. Maybe it feels awkward. Whiptail's fine. Okay, actually swing with the Ixalan's Diviner this time. You're not going to block with it, you kind of might as well, right? Ooh, another Neckbreaker. I think we'll still swing with the Raptor. I think he's probably still in the we're not blocking boat. But I'm okay trading up with the Whiptail too, even though that means we couldn't do anything else with our turn. Yeah. And we might as well do it again, I suppose, since we got nothing else better. Again for a couple of points of damage. Get a trade. He has Pounce. He shouldn't have let it resolve the first time. And I guess he can't beat Pounce, actually. Let's have something. Oh, okay. Buccaneer's Bravado. Pretty solid. That's his last card in hand. He's going to be able to swing at us for 5 next turn, but then we'll play Needletooth Raptor. And that will put my opponent in a tough attacking spot. Unless he has a great follow-up. Fiery Cannonade doesn't do much, and actually made... Well, no, I lied. I was going to say it may not be fantastic against this opponent in general, but I think it's actually probably pretty good. My opponent showed us a lot of 2-drops that died to it last game. Alright, Needletooth Raptor. Very good card just in general, but a great defender here. You just offered a trade. I think I'm okay with that. It is kind of the last of the removal we have, but my opponent didn't play anything last turn, so I think he may have a land stuck in hand. And if this is the last of his great interaction, I guess actually maybe we should wait, because if we play Fiery Cannonade with the Raptor, we can maybe minus a little bit more value. Ah, well. Spineback's really bad for us. That was a great top deck. Ouch. I mean, we did use the Impales pretty aggressively. We used the Needletooth Raptor too, but that was literally his draw that turn. Well, or it might have been last turn. He needed a land, I guess. Either way, that's a beaten. I guess if we find one of our 3-cost damage spells, we can kill it off with Fiery Cannonades still. We gotta do that pretty fast, though, or the value he gets is gonna be insurmountable. Yeah, that's a good card. Good card for sure. Yeah, I don't know. You definitely can make an argument, I think, for using the Impales there and just trying to remove all my opponent's threats, but it goes both ways. Yeah, land doesn't quite do it for us. Let's play the Brazen Freebooter. Still have Fiery Cannonade up. Actually, I kind of like swing with the Neckbreaker here. I guess I could play this Neckbreaker and double block, swing with this one for 7. No, because we don't really like swinging, because he'll just make a dinosaur and block. Yeah, we're in kind of a tough spot. Our best bet there may have actually been to not play anything and hope he swings in with the Spineback and snipe it with the Fiery Cannonade. This is just, yeah, public enemy #1 though. We have to kill this. I think at this point I am just gonna block with the Freebooter. Try and convince my opponent to attack next turn. That might be too much, though. Maybe we double block. That's a little bit less suspicious, because you look at just a single block there and are like, why did you jump? But if he's coming off a Neckbreaker, that might make a little bit more sense for us. And we might still be able to convince him not to play the Spineback. Or could convince him to swing at the Spineback. Okay, actually Repeating Barrage solves our problem anyway. Let's go ahead and swing with our Freebooter. We're still not in a great spot, but that is a combination of cards that could get us there. Naturally Repeating Barrage might give us enough value as the game goes along. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we blocked there. That's a pretty weird attack. Let's go ahead and Repeating Barrage. And Fiery Cannonade. Yeah, that Spineback was a problem, though. It went from putting us in I think, a pretty confident, good position to being close to dead. He's still gonna get a 3/3 out of this. But we do have public enemy #1 down. And we've got Repeating Barrage in the graveyard. That will get us value as the game goes. Let's see, it requires 8 mana to do both in the same turn. So if you just play something random here, It's not real big. We could swing with the freebooter, get it back, and shoot a dinosaur next turn. Oh, wow. Ugh. Alright. Well, now we're starting to look pretty dead. Well, I mean, we were looking pretty dead before, but even deader. Is there a way we survive this next turn? We swing. If he blocks, I guess we can live. Although he would have to be aware of it, too. Like, this is all information he has, so he knows he absolutely shouldn't block here, but we'll swing in. You never know. People make mistakes. Come on, block. You know you want to. Alright. GG. I ain't got nothing. Alright. Big dinos. It took a little bit too long and got broken. I think we do want Raider's Wake. He's playing a little bit higher on the curve than I had thought initially. Not sure we're quite to the point where we need Dire Inquiry, or Dark Inquiry, but Raider's Wake feels like it has the potential to be pretty darn good. What seems bad against this opponent? Not tons. I mean, maybe Fairy Canny is just not that exciting. I mean, it kills our own Sun-Colored Raptors. I mean, I don't know. You kind of see it either way, honestly. Maybe Mutiny's just not great. It kills little things, but we're more likely to get really destroyed by a big thing. It's weird though, because I think my opponent could have pretty good aggressive beatdown draws too. I think I do need to keep in Sun-Colored Raptor, even though it's been unexciting, just because we do want to trigger Raider's Wake consistently. I think Fiery Cannonade's going to be worse than Fire Cannon Blast. I think I am going to pull it out here. That might not be correct, but I'd loathe to pull out the creatures, even though those are the worst cards we have. Okay, I think we'll keep this. Not a great hand. Not a miserable one either. My opponent's moving down to 6 again. Fathom Fleet Border into follow-up Captain's Hook, though. I mean, that hits pretty hard, pretty fast. Don't quite have the lands for Impale yet. We need to find another black source. Any land lets us play the Hook and equip the turn after the border, though. 2 drops, obviously, the Dream there. Not quite, but that's okay. My opponent's got a slow start. This could just be kind of an avalanche of damage, too. Opponent did go on the bottom after his Mold to 6. Denali's Knight. Great card. Alright. Let's play our Fathom Fleet Border. And we'll pass here. If he plays a good, like, middling dinosaur, he'll get in for some damage. We can play a Dire Fleet Neckbreaker next turn, though. In between that and Captain's Hook and Impale, we can probably race, even with the 2 free damage the border just dealt us. Okay, no dinosaur pre-combat. Nothing. Alright. Well, let's play our Neckbreaker and get in there, I think. He's got a trick or something. I mean, he does have the +1/+1 first strike, but not that time. My opponent looks like he's stuck on 3 lands. Well, we've proved that we can win games when our opponent can't play. Not as good as it's gotten here. I think we're going to play Captain Hook. We'll equip to the Neckbreaker and swing. That represents 10, 12 damage. My opponent's just super, super close to dead then. That's assuming he has Stone Cold nothing. I guess if he does have a Prey Upon, it's kind of awkward. Alright. Yep, nothing. Well, I think we had kind of one good game in the middle. We almost pulled back, although not quite enough after my opponent played the spine back. But other than that, this was just a story of mulligans, unfortunately. My opponent just could not find a good hand to save his life. Well, still, I guess, better him than us. I'll see you guys for match 2. Hello and welcome back for match 2. This is Old Man Poole. We have won the dice roll. We are playing first. Okay, yeah, pretty good hand here. We've got Trailblazer into either Rummaging Goblin or Fire Cannon Blast, as would be necessitated, and Needletooth Raptor. Let's go ahead and keep. Rummaging Goblin, I think is actually the first time I've played it, either in Ixalan. Well, no, I may have played it once time in Ixalan. but haven't played it a lot. I do think it's gotten a little bit better. Format's slowed in this deck. I don't know, it's kind of an aggro deck that didn't quite get there, which means we have to play a little bit higher mana curve, I think, but also probably don't want to draw tons and tons of lands, and the Rummaging Goblin can help filter. So I'm not unhappy to have it here. It isn't an exceptional card by any stretch, but it's okay. It does make me a little bit terrified to play both a Trailblazer and a Rummaging Goblin into something that could be like dual shot, but 'tis what it is too. I kind of don't hate actually just shooting the Firebrand here. It's a pretty solid 2-drop. And then actually Rummaging Goblin gets a little bit later, or a little bit better later in the game too. I think I'm just gonna kill this. We also could have maybe kept our Trailblazer back, but against a blue-red sort of aggressive deck, I'm worried that that would just end up getting pinged, or my opponent would have some other powerful effect. Okay, ooh yeah, my opponent's got to play an Aerialist without Raid. That was great for us. And I guess we just played Needletooth Raptor here. Again, just sandbagging the Rummaging Goblin a little bit longer. Yeah, blue-red is almost always, it's even more aggressive than black-red, I think. You're going for it about as quickly and as hard as you can. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see my opponent play a reasonable raid card post this Aerialist. Ooh, some for 4. Some for 3? Some for something. Okay, Stormfleet Spy. Very reasonable. Always gotta love your 3-drops that draw you a card. Ooh, like, oh no, Fanatical Firebrand. I imagine just killing off the Trailblazer. Fair enough. Okay, do we want to keep the Needletooth Raptor alive? Do we care that much? We could swing right now for 2. My opponent would swing back for 3. We could just play the Rummaging Goblin. Thereafter, we have Repeating Barrage to hit once. Or we could just shoot the Stormfleet Spy right now. Kind of like having the removal, though. We keep the Needletooth Raptor back. It might hold a Stormfleet Spy at bay, in which case the Rummaging Goblin can start giving us more and more value as the game goes on longer. Yeah, I actually don't hate leaving it in defense. Trading 2 damage for 2 damage isn't fantastic for me. Yeah, let's play it slow here. It's difficult for this color combination to get rid of the Needletooth Raptor without damaging it. I mean, he could bounce it, but that's not a permanent effect. But yeah, any of the red removal he has will give us good value off the Needletooth Raptor. I guess Water Knot could get it. But that's double blue, too. One is offering the trade. The fact that he offers makes me a little bit wary, but I'm still going to go for it. We do have a Repeating Barrage in hand, and this color combination also doesn't play huge stuff all that often. So we'll just take our value while we can get it here. And trust that the Rummaging Goblin Repeating Barrage is enough value to keep us going. I guess about the only thing that would really blow us out there is if my opponent does find something like Air Elemental, the Repeating Barrage just doesn't handle. But anything nice and medium-sized, we should be able to kill. Drill Death Spitter definitely counts. He will get a little bit of value, unfortunately, but Traveler and Amulet as a follow-up isn't super scary. Neckbreaker. So I think I'm going to start out by discarding and drawing. And see if this changes anything. Gonna crack the Traveler's Amulet in response, kinda looks like. Thought about it. Okay, Sun-Colored Raptor actually kind of encourages the Repeating Barrage. Just gets a little bit more mana efficient. Neckbreaker does hit harder next turn. Although he's likely to have some play next turn as well. I think I'm just gonna shoot this. Play the Raptor. Yep, we'll take 2 points for free here. Play the Raptor. And, I mean, we definitely can always swing with the Sun-Colored Raptor, get back Repeating Barrage. This is definitely like a slow way to get value, but it is not non-existent. Ooh, forest. So that probably means he doesn't desperately need double blue at least. Have just a good splash card here. And Needletooth Raptors, pretty good. Hard for us to interact with incredibly favorably. Do you just want to give my opponent a 2-for-1? Not really. I think we'll just leave the Rummaging Goblin in play and get some more value for a while. Fiery Cannonade looks pretty bad on this board. Guess we'll play the Neckbreaker. If he ever tries to attack, the Neckbreaker obviously will punish that pretty hard. We do have some Impales we could find that take care of the Needletooth Raptor as well. And like I said, for as long as Rummaging Goblin is in play, we have not like a damage clock, but sort of a value clock on my opponent. We've already pitched away a couple of kind of worthless cards. My opponent's played a Tolly. Oh dear. So I remember distinctly saying we really want an Impale last turn. Things have not changed. Alright. Alright. Well, so that's bad for us. I can play a Swamp here and we could block with the Suncolored Raptor and maybe avoid True Disaster. But we're not looking good. Not looking good for sure. If we block Double Pump and he doesn't have a removal spell, we're okay. That is definitely bomb worthy though. Tolly is scary. Let's see what free stuff he gets. Hornswoggle and Suncrowned Hunters. So you have to cast this immediately, right? I think. Cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way. So we can't cast Hornswoggle. But yeah, hitting Suncrowned Hunters is about as good as you could have hoped for from our deck, at least. It's unfortunate. So we'll trade, but my opponent got a pretty sick 2-for-1. And that's even assuming this works, which is not 100%. Alright, Suncolored Raptor. Stand up to your big Elder Dinosaur friend. Oh no, Bombard. Okay, I think this game's probably over now, unfortunately. You were not good enough, Rummaging Goblin. You were supposed to give me value, but instead you lured me into a false sense of security. So let's see. I guess we're still just hoping to find Impale, I think, is our one main out. I think we're going to pitch Fiery Cannonade. Are we just dead at this point? We can play Suncolored Raptor, pump once, get up to 4. Double block, we take 5, 7, 9, plus whatever he gets. Guess we see a little bit more of his deck. Yeah, pretty well wrecked this game though. Pretty well wrecked. I wonder what he's splashing for. Something sweet, probably. Spirewinder and Impale. Yep. Alright. We're gonna call it the GG here. Oh, we were close to Impale. We almost got there. Alright. Opponent's got pretty reasonable, like, blue-red for value beatdown-y deck. I think Raider's Wake, again, might be a necessity. We also have to just play Dark Inquiry. I think Raider's Wake might just be better, though. Try and keep my opponent off things like a Tolly on the top end. Fire Cannon Blast. How much did it seem like it was hitting? Not tons, and actually it's probably its worst in the black-blue matchup. Or sorry, the red-blue matchup. I think we're going to pull it. You like anything else? I guess he didn't show us a lot of removal. Showed us something. Oh, 1 Bombard. Alright. Don't think we're crazy enough to bring in Sea Red. Alright, would like to play first. I think we keep. We do have a heavier like mountain count than swamp count, but we do really want to find another mountain to be able to activate all this good removal in our hand. Fortunately, Skittering Heartstopper does not count as a pirate, so we're gonna probably take some pain from the Fathom Fleet border, but that's alright. We will get in for a point of damage here. It's going to be free the vast majority of the time, and I'm not even sure I'd want to trade this for something like Nest Runner. thought about playing something and didn't. Well, alright then. Go ahead and swing with our Heartstopper, and then we'll play the Fathom Flame Border and take 2 points of damage, but such is life. Didn't play anything last turn. Thought about something, didn't play it. Bombard. Okay, it might indicate kind of a removal heavy hand for my opponent. I don't think you're hoping to just use that there. We also have a kind of removal heavy hand, and we are actually out of threats, which is a danger in this deck. I'm not going to fire off a Repeating Barrage just to the face here. Don't think that's really how we're going to win very often. And I think we actually need to keep Fire Cannon Blast because it's one of our few answers to Atali. We're going to use one of our Repeating Barrages. And let's get in for a point of damage. Look at this Heartstopper go. Taking my opponent down. I mean, he's done a fifth of my opponent's life already. In 16 turns, that's a game. Easy. Well, we've hit too many lands. Wonder at what point we want to hold. Repeating Barrage, we actually have a lot of mana sinks, even beyond our Rummager, so it's maybe just not correct ever to hold lands. I guess we'll swing here and plan on bringing back the Repeating Barrage. Opponent is stuck, but we're not really aggressively taking advantage of it either. I guess we got to draw a free card, and a good card even. Interesting. So he had Opt in hand, but chose not to play it to find a land. Put the card on bottom. Why would you not do that? You do that if you have another Bombard, maybe, that you want to keep up? Ooh, Golden Guardian. Okay, well, Heartstopper will definitely swing into that. And I guess we'll probably Fire Cannon Blast it. This is not a card we can defeat if it flips. And then follow it up with a Needletooth Raptor, I guess. We also double Repeating Barrage, but I don't think that's as good. Okay, does not block. Not terribly surprising. My opponent's deck's sweet. Man, I still haven't gotten to play with Golden Guardian. And it's like the coolest card in the new set. I know I passed it once during a draft. I think I took actually Needletooth Raptor over it. True tragedy. Charging Monstrosaur? What even is that card? Bad news, what it is. Alright, yeah, I guess we'll just trade. We'll get some free damage in. We can't answer an Atali if he's got it. I guess we still do have double Repeating Barrage still. But alright, well that Mausoleum Harpy, still getting up there. Hey, this is a real creature, it's a real threat. We are on the beatdown. And even if my opponent's got an Atali this next turn, we can swing into it and then Repeating Barrage it twice. The dream. Okay, Needletooth Raptor, pretty good. Ooh, and a Firebrand to enable it. Even better. So I assume he's just going to snipe the Harpy here. Doesn't sound unreasonable to me. There's that Rummaging Goblin we spoke so kindly of. It looks a little bit less good with the Repeating Barrages. I guess we swing. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if my opponent blocked. So we could Repeating Barrage him twice, just take him down to 6. And then the following turn we could bring back 1. Nah, I guess we're not quite that aggressive. Do we want to shoot the Needletooth Raptor and keep the Rummaging Goblin though? I don't think we need to. Kind of like shooting my opponent's face. Is that super aggressive? It might be pretty ham. If he had Atali, he would have played it. And if he does have Atali, we can still keep the Heartstopper back. We could just bite the bullet and get rid of the Raptor and say you're not going to get any more value. Yeah, maybe that's correct. Not great. But maybe that's just what needs to be done. I think using double Repeating Barrage to get to my opponent's face is pretty nuts. You have to be very aggressive to be happy there. Yeah, maybe Rummaging Goblin isn't great with all of our Repeating Barrages and stuff too, though. Sailor means. Still enabling perhaps that green splash that we weren't really sure about. Ooh, Suncrowned Hunters is great though. And that's gonna hit my opponent pretty hard. Ooh, Hornswoggle? No! I walked right into it. I even knew about it. Oh, wrecked. Alright, well. That is what it is. Opponent's getting in for damage. That means he's gotta have a follow-up because he doesn't want to just give us a Repeating Barrage back for free. Ooh, Rotting Looter. It's pretty good. It's much better than the Rummaging Goblin, certainly. Captain's Hook. The value. Sure. We'll make our Rummaging Goblin a pirate and get in there. Equip. This might make it kind of hard for him to block, too, going forward. It's kind of sweet. And the double Repeating Barrage. Opponent never suspects the double Repeating Barrage. If he can't interact with this, we do get to take him down to 3 now. We're definitely swinging. Alright. Let's go to the races. We just shoot my opponent. I guess we don't need to quite yet. It's a little bit less mana efficient. How would that matter? Probably doesn't. Yeah, if he's got a counterspell or something in addition, we want to take him to 3. And now if we can ever swing at the creature, Repeating Barrage just becomes lethal. I think we probably got him. He has to kill the Rummaging Goblin this turn, and then he has to have an answer for every threat that we play hereafter. Ooh, splashing for Raging Regisaur. Okay. I think that's not incorrect. Okay, I mean, this isn't May, right? Like, there's nothing I'm missing here. Yeah. Let's go for it. Opponent may just be hoping that we don't see the kill, but you have it. Unless he's got random life gain, but... Alright, Repeating Barrage got there. That's pretty sweet. I don't think you're gonna get that card twice very often. Still, I'm not sure I love our matchup here, though. My opponent's got some really spicy stuff. Charging Monstrosaur, Golden Guardian. He's also got a Tolly. It's gonna be uphill. Yeah, I think the more I think about it, though, Rummaging Goblin just is not great in this deck. Fire Cannon Blast doesn't seem real spectacular. I guess maybe Sea Red's just where we want to be. He does have a Bombard, but that is a way you can just kind of steal games, and we may be in the position where we have to try and steal a game. You also play Dark Inquiry, and just say, hey, you got some really good cards. We're just gonna take one of your best ones from you. A little bit less awkward compared to Sea Red. Some matchups. Yeah, maybe I like that better, actually. Alright, Dark Inquiry it is. The problem with Sea Red is sometimes you're just going to play it and get blown out, and other times... Ooh, are we mulliganing here? I don't think so. My opponent's on the play. If we find black, we're pretty okay, and even if we don't, we have probably at least 2 plays, and the freebooter will even help us splash eventually. Let's go ahead and keep. Opponent goes down to 6. Yeah, I think Rummaging Goblin, while it might have a place index like this, we just have enough good mana sinks that we actually don't want it, which is kind of funny. Like, hitting lots of land drops isn't necessarily bad. Alright, Mausoleum Harpy, not a great draw for us. Well, it looks like he's off to the races, too. Alright. Well, we're glad we have a Phantom Fleet Firebrand at the very least. If we'd had black, that would have been really nice, but... Yeah, we even have a removal spell. We do need to find another land in the next 2 draws, but... Without a combat trick, my opponent can't attack real easily. I mean, he could just use up all of his mana and get in with the Suncloud Raptor, but we're not that sad about that, if that's his play. The danger here is my opponent just has a really good curve out, and I think we're actually not doing a terrible job of gumming the board, even despite not having swamps available to us. Drilled Death Spitter. Yeah, it's gonna get Fire Cannon blasted, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, and we even found a land. Even the right color. Do we change anything? Or do we just Fire Cannon blast? We can play that Heartstopper. It's a little bit less efficient on mana. Once only got 2 cards left in hand. I think I like that. We are playing fairly aggressively with our removal across these matches, but I'm just okay with that. Yeah, and we're just not going to attack here. I think we have inevitability. Well, no, maybe not necessarily. Atali's maybe a way that my opponent finds his way back into this game. We do have some big threats. Yeah, that's a better way of saying that. Ooh. Well, Mutiny would be good, except for that we actually can't kill the raptor. We really would like to remove that here. So you can play Direfleet, Neckbreaker, and swing. That gets us in for 4 damage. My opponent's next turn, he could swing for as much as 6 damage. And we crack back for quite a bit. I think I'm still going to play it slow, though. Let's play a Freebooter, and then play a Heartstopper. Yeah, and if he plays anything reasonably sized, we'd love to get that raptor off the battlefield. The fact that my opponent found a treasure there was kind of nice, because that, even though he may be stuck on 3 lands, means that he's likely to be able to play something a little bit higher, which could include Raging Regisaur. Traveler's Amulet's a good sign for us, though. Again, just kind of a slow tempo play, and we are fans of slow tempo plays. Finding Mountain. Ooh, he needs double red. So this turn, I think we're to the point where we play Neckbreaker and swing with some pretty nasty threats. Possible my opponent play, or I guess we could actually leap the Firebrand back to block Raptor, but we swing with the Freebooter. My opponent could still, like, I guess he'd have to use his mana, his treasure up, and block, and we could still trade with the Raptor. Don't think we're swinging at the Fathom Fleet Firebrand. Well, I don't know. Do we just want to trade with Sailor Immunes? Maybe we're to the point where the Direfleet Captain is high enough damage too. Because if he goes like block, block, maybe not even that bad. Yeah, let's swing for a lot. I guess this gets blown out well, not even terribly. But a little bit if my opponent's got a Bombard for the Neckbreaker. It's kind of bad for us. Yeah, maybe bad enough that I shouldn't have swung with the Firebrand. That was kind of on the edge. But I'm pretty happy to trade this, actually. Would we rather get the Sun-Collared Raptor off or the Sailor Beans? I think we just want to get rid of the threat that can pump. Okay, opponent goes down to 15, and we'll just pass. So he's at 5 mana, could still have something like a Tali for sure. Raging Regisaur. It's a good one. Put that together with the Firebrand and you can kill off our Neckbreaker. Let's see, so this will be our 8th permanent for the Harpy. We can Mutiny and say, hey, I'm just going to trade this if you want. I think that's okay. I think I'm going to kill off the Sailor Beans with the Mutiny. It just represents a pretty big wall. He's still 2 mana off playing a Tali. Can't kill the Raging Regisaur on its own. We could just trade, but then he just double blocks and kills off the Neckbreaker. We could just swing with the Brazen Freebooter if we do that and play Harpy. This is still 5 points potentially. But to get, if he, yeah, he still can kill off the Neckbreaker then. I think I like mutinying. It's just the only way that we make sure we either trade the Regisaur for the Neckbreaker or we keep the Neckbreaker. Oops, let's make sure we did that right. Deal damage, dealt damage. One has F6'd. I think we're just going to come in with everything. So take my opponent down to 11 without some good blocks. I think he has to use the Regisaur here to block. And he'll trade with the Direfleet Captain, I imagine. He still goes down to 9. And we still have a couple of good creatures to follow up. Okay, 5th land. Ooh, Rotting Looter. Still a good card. It would be a chump attack if you came in, but if you really need to loot, you maybe go for it. If we Impale here, we swing for another 5. I think I actually like holding the Impale on the off chance that he does find like land Atali. But let's swing with all of these and say, hey, we're okay trading for the Marauding Looter anywhere along the line. We could also just swing with the Freebooter and play Mausoleum Harpy. Between that and Suncolored Raptor next turn, that might also be lethal. Yeah, I actually kind of like that better. Let's just swing with the Freebooter. And know that we've got the Impale to answer any huge threat from my opponent. Okay with that. Play the Harpy. Pass. This is most of the time just going to be a 3-3 for 5, I think, in the deck. 3-3 flyer for 5. When you hit Ascend, it's great, but especially in like matchups like this, we're just blocking a lot. Okay, my opponent's swing, maybe to enable. Ooh, maybe he's got Fiery Cannonade? No. Why would you swing? Enable Raid. What do we care the least about? I guess the Heartstopper. Okay, Stormfleet Spy seemed like a good guess there. Okay, definitely could have a Tolly. We're swinging for a lot here, though. So he just dies if he doesn't block the Sun-Colored Raptor. Takes a lot, even with 7, 10. Is that just lethal? Blocks, and we're gonna pump the heck out of it. Guess if he's got a bounce spell, it's a little bit awkward, but... Alright. Hey, we got there. I think we've definitely been taking advantage of our opponent's mulligans, but... Hey, I mean, still winning games, and that's a nice feeling. I will see you guys for our 3rd and final match. Welcome back for our 3rd and final match. This is Old Man Poole. We've still got that sweet 3-0 on the line. Let's see if we can get there. Okay, We're playing first. This hand's kind of questionable. We do have a 2-drop. We need to find a land. I need to find lands kind of going up the curve. I think this is close enough that we should keep it. Got something, I did the math once, or I let a computer do the math for me once, and it's something like 75% to hit a land with 2 draws. Need run 2. I think we're gonna keep, and just pray to the Magic Online gods. Opponent mulligan's down to 6. Maybe a smarter man than we are. It's funny, because I think if we didn't have the Sun-Colored Raptor in this hand, it's a mulligan, which is maybe just a way of saying that we should just mulligan, since this card's pretty bad on 2. Okay, land. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, we're now down to like our 50% chance or something. Come on, land. Don't make me regret everything. Please, please, land. Oh. Alright, let's swing with our Sun-Colored Raptor. I think I'm okay trading. My opponent is inclined to trade. Fine by me. Let's play our Ruthless Knave. Actually, we even found red, which is nice, because we can play Fire Cannon Blast if we need to now. If we find one more land's all I ask, then we get to play the Freebooter. Land? Alright. So, I mean, we didn't get absolutely stone cold obliterated by the mullet, or by the Greedy Keep. We're a little bit slow here, and we're not taking full advantage of my opponent's slow start, but that's okay. Golden Golem. This card's everywhere. What a good card. And Swamp off the top. Woo-hoo-hoo! Man, how am I so lucky? I ask myself every day. Alright, down to 14 for my opponent. And I think we're pretty good on lands from here on out. We do want to play Sun-Crowned Hunters, but we actually only need to find one more land to pull that off. Riverwise Augur is good, though. It does a not miserable job of brickwalling our nave, because I don't really want to swing into it and trade. Ooh, Pound Swamp. I wonder if he's actually blue-black splash white. Definitely possible. Okay, can't utilize the Mutiny. Don't think we want to use Fire Cannon Blast. I'm just gonna play the Freebooters here. Not gonna swing in with the Ruthless Knave just yet, since I think Mutiny might give us the opportunity to take care of the Augur. And you never know, I mean, we've got 2 Neckbreakers in the deck too. We definitely could find some of those. It's very likely my opponent's got some good stuff to play now, though. 6 lands in hand, almost certainly has all of his colors lined up. Okay, well, you're tapping a lot of mana now. I'm not sure I'm okay with this. This is starting to feel scary. Oh, okay. Paragon's pretty good. Not stone cold fantastic, but pretty good. I think this turn I'm going to Mutiny, swing at the Freebooter, Fire Cannon Blast it. We could just play Suncrowned Hunters, though. If we play Suncrowned Hunters, it will swing next turn. I guess that lets us keep removal. It gets us in for a couple points less damage this turn. We could also go the other way and use the Augur to shoot the Pterodon post-block. I think I'm just gonna commit our Suncrowned Hunters to the board here. And just keep on playing it slow. That way we still have the Fire Cannon Blast to deal with any true danger if my opponent plays, I don't know, Water Elemental, although he probably would have already played that had he had it. What's bad for us? Surely some things. Ooh, an aggressive attack. I would think that means he's got a good follow-up. Because that was keeping our 3 power creatures at bay, at least. Dusk Legion Zealot. Not exactly Pinnacle of Power. Oh, did I recall her? Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty solid play. Punishes us for playing the Suncrowned Hunters for sure. Okay. So this turn, I think we're going to use Mutiny, kill off the Rig Hauler, and then play Suncrowned Hunters again. And I guess we'll swing with the Freebooter, but not the Ruthless Knave just yet. My opponent's inclined to double block. I am okay with that. Especially because that means that we potentially have a large threat that will stay on the board. Still have 1 removal spell, which we can always swing in for if we need to. Another Pterodon. It's a little bit unfortunate. That's true, they both have Vigilance now. Oh, they move in herds. They do move in herds. Captain's Hook's pretty good. Happy with it. Suppose I am. We put it on the... Okay, I'll stop. We put it on the Suncrowned Hunters. We swing for 7. Opponent double blocks still. We take... He goes down to 10. We can Fire Cannon Blast, kill off the others. We put on Ruthless Knave, though. That gives us 2 smaller threats. My opponent wants to deal with the Knave. That's a double block. See, double blocks there anyway. We still do 3. Actually, get in for another 5 that way. And get to Fire Cannon Blast still. Oops, let's not tap both our mountains. That was almost a disaster. Oh, actually, we can't equip, though, too. I think that's still okay. So I guess in that case, we do want to keep up the double swamp. Okay. Captain's Hook's good, though. That was a great draw. And we'll just have to be content trading away our hunters here, I think. But my opponent's going to take a fair amount of damage. And he has to have a creature next turn that survives Fire Cannon Blast, at least the first half. Ooh, he's double blocking there. Okay. A little bit more conservative, I don't hate it. One goes down to 8. Play our Heartstopper, and I'm going to equip the hook to the hunters now. rather than keeping up the death touch on the Heartstopper. I don't think will be relevant. So, ooh, Dusk Charger. And it's not quite ascended, which means my opponent isn't just dead, but very close. He's got a bounce spell, we still kind of get blown out. But if he doesn't, alright, opponent concedes. Hey, I mean, Suncrowned Hunters with the Captain's Hook like on its head, I imagine is where that would end up. It's pretty cute, so I'm okay winning that way. So, opponent, I guess just playing like true, I guess this is Esper. Definitely controlling. Looks like he's got some treasure going on. Golden Guardian's a great finisher. What do we want? Raider's Wake, maybe. It's less good when you're on the draw. Oh, I meant to pull out the Rummaging Goblin and didn't, as I'm known to do. And bring in Demolish is just a not real clean answer to the Guardian. I think I actually like playing Dark Inquiry more, though. Alright, let's try something like that. Ooh, well, yeah, maybe we should pull out Fiery Cannonade, too. Didn't seem great against a lot of what my opponent was doing. I guess it answers, like, the Riverwise Merfolk. I think this is probably a mulligan, though. This hand looks pretty bad to me. Got too many lands, we definitely could flood, and it's only got mountains, too. Well, this is really bad, too. Maybe I should have kept the first. I don't know, I hate keeping 5 landers. I think we're going down to 5 here, though. This will have to do. I think we gotta put that on the bottom, unfortunately. Neckbreaker's good, but yeah, we're probably in pretty deep trouble here. Yeah, I think that those were the correct mulligan choices. I should have pulled out Fiery Cannonade. If we'd had something else there, there's a chance that the hand was keepable. So that's a pretty big blunder on my part. I don't know, though. Cannonade does answer some of the little stuff, like the Dusk Legion Zealot. It's just as bad against things like the Pterodon. Well, we can at least cast Repeating Barrage now. We could probably get in for some damage. We're not that far off Needletooth Raptor. And getting back Barrage repeatedly is a way you win games. Okay, I guess this turn I'm hoping for either black or just a card we can cast. Yeah, that doesn't quite count. I don't really want to shoot the Dusk Legion Zealot. Opponent does seem to be on the full Ascend deck, though. We didn't see a ton of Treasure Makers last game. Yeah, there's that Pterodon we hate so much. Yeah, can't do much about that. There is a black source. I mean, we could 2-for-1 ourselves against the Pterodon, but that feels pretty awkward. I think the better play is to play Heartstopper, swing with it next turn, and then enable the Fire Cannon Blast and finish the job. Or I guess, actually, I lied. Because we have 4 mana now, we should just play the Needletooth Raptor. And we can trade if we need to with the Pterodon that way. Let's see, next turn, suppose he plays another Pterodon. I guess that's probably the dream, right? We swing with the Raptor, he's like, okay, I have to block. We kill off the one, play Repeating Barrage, kill off the other, then we're right back in the game. What has my opponent got up his sleeve here? Tapping his mana carefully, I see. Riverwise Augur. Reasonable. I like this card quite a bit. It's definitely a card that appeals to me. I like these sort of effects. I don't think it's like the nut. I mean, it does replace itself and fixes your draw a little bit, but I guess to really abuse it, you do want things like Traveler's Amulet or Revolving Wilds. I haven't been able to put together quite that wombo. I swing with the Pterodon. That means that my opponent is probably not going to block our Needletooth Raptor, which is okay. And we're probably still going to fire a Cannon Blast here. Alright, City's Blessing online, pitches a land. Now, Suncrowned Hunters is good if we get up there. Do we want to swing with the Firebrand, or do we just want to trade here? No, I think we need the defensive might. Let's swing with our Needletooth. Opponent probably doesn't block. I think he probably just values the Pterodon too much. But we'll be able to shoot it anyway with the Fire Cannon Blast. And I think we do just need to take it off the table. Yeah, I mean, we're still behind. I mean, just mulling to 5 all kind of tends to do that to you, but I don't just hate it here either. Golden Guardian still wrecks us pretty good. But outside of that, like, we've got some good cards on the table. Another Suncrested Pterodon's strong, but not unbeatable, especially with an Eeltooth Raptor available. That's pretty bad for us, though. Alright. It's gonna hit pretty hard pretty fast. Guess we're not swinging with the Heartstopper. Guess we're just going with the Raptor. I mean, if we really need to, we can Repeating Barrage the Needletooth Raptor to kill the Augur. That feels really rough, though. Taking 6 damage a turn at this point. Play a Neckbreaker. It swings the next turn. Ouch. My opponent just rolling to trade. I don't think I'm super unhappy with that. I think we still do play the Neckbreaker. We're gonna take 6. If we find Impale, we're in a good spot. Although we find a Swamp then too. I guess if that's the case, maybe we just do need Repeating Barrage at this point. And then trust in the Neckbreaker's Fathomfleet Firebrand to get the job done. Ugh. Let's see, so we take this, we go into 7. The next turn we could kill. But what are we even hoping to draw in the interim? There's not much we can draw. I think we gotta do it. As tough as that is. I think we've gotta do it. I mean, I guess it's still a 2 for 2, kind of. And it is what it is. I think it had to be done, whether it's bad value or not. But okay. Opponent cracks the Relic. Gets that sweet payoff of drawing a card. I'm not real amazed by this card. Ooh, Dust Charger's good, though. I suppose we can't really block. Are we 2 for 1-ing ourselves here? We might be. Opponent swings for 7 next turn. We could crack back for as much as 9, 11 perhaps. We play the Sun-Crowned Hunters. If we draw land, if we find removal, we could get rid of the Dust Charger. Ooh, well, that was a lot of talk for not much benefit. Yeah, I think we may have just been a little bit too far behind on cards this game. I think we did fight a good fight, but we're not just dead if we find a land, but it's not looking great. I guess we are just dead even if we find a land now. And Impale we can't quite cast anyway. Alright, well, we've mised a lot of games off mulligans over this match, so can't complain too much if we lose one. Yeah, I still don't think that the Fire Cannon looks really good. He's got some smaller creatures, but they're mostly pirates anyway. I think we are going to bring in Raider's Wake for the Ascend deck. That can be pretty, I don't know, pretty debilitating. Well, let's just run this back here. Anything else look bad? Should probably do a better once-over. Still like Inquiry, I think. Let's call that a deck. Would like to play first, hopefully no mulligan. I mean, we're keeping, but not our favorite either. If we find Swamp, this hand's very good. Like, really good, one of the best we could have, outside of having like a good removal spell to go along with it, but opponent did mulligan to 6 and bottomed. And then we got a Swamp. Alright, we got the potential going here. Yes, which of these is better? Trailblazer's a little bit nicer to have on the board with the Neckbreaker, I guess. Potentially is a little bit more punishing. My opponent's not playing any of the red ping stuff, so I think we can get away with that. Captain's Hook is actually quite good as well, but play the Fathomfleet Forwarder first on the off chance my opponent has like Slash of Talons or something here. Yeah, I think the Neckbreaker might just be able to steal this game. Ooh, yeah, Rosca Relic is super slow, like painful here. So we're just gonna swing for 9, and then my opponent's just dead next turn if he doesn't have something. Yeah, I mean, that shows the strength of this deck when it is the aggressive variety. Okay. Poland Guardian's good. Are we still killing him? We equip up with Captain's Hook. That's 4 enough. Yeah. Like, my opponent wasn't even exceptionally slow. We just kind of had the nut draw. Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, we will live that dream any day. Any day. I don't know if the deck was all that good. I mean, we had a lot of removal, and that's really probably to its biggest credit. We drew Needletooth Raptor a lot. Direfleet Neckbreaker obviously was great, even without tons of pirates to go along with it. And Captain's Hook impressed. But I think, honestly, this was just one of those series where I got by an opponent's misfortune. There were a lot of mulligans, and we got to take full advantage. I don't think this deck, on average, is going to be a 3-0 deck. We just were lacking kind of a lot of stuff that really makes this deck great. We didn't have a lot of great 2-drops. We were playing things like Suncrowned Hunters. We had to play 17 lands. We had good removal. Picking up 2 Repeating Barrages was pretty sweet. We had another Fire Cannon Blast, a couple of Impales. Fiery Cannon didn't ever show itself to be crazy good. We didn't play any Vampires or Merfolk, but we had like good cards. We just kind of didn't have quite enough, which might be a failure on my part. I maybe just didn't recognize the open color pairing. Black especially seemed like it was drafted fairly aggressively. I think I was seduced by the double Neckbreakers that came around, but in any case, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I think I'm actually going to try something different with this series, which I guess you've probably already realized if you're watching, and I think I am going to not edit individual videos. I'd had a couple of people request just in comments that I post as one big video. We're going to try that. Definitely let me know if you think that's a plus, a minus, if you think that's a nice thing or a bad thing. It truly doesn't make a whole lot of difference to me one way or the other, so let me know what you guys prefer. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.